Use a variety of note durations. Longer notes and slower melodies can be more... Whoa. I'll read that over again. I kind of like this. Alright, so by now, I'm assuming you guys have seen videos all about artificial intelligence in music production, with thumbnails like this, and this. Or maybe even you've seen one like this, where everyone is saying,
AI is getting scarily crazy. AI will definitely replace musicians, no doubt. Bro, I'm gonna be honest, this AI makes better melodies than me.
Where everyone is talking about and worried about if artificial intelligence will be taking over music production away from us producers. But technology is never going to stop developing, so me personally, I'd rather get with the times and see how I can utilize this new tool. That being said, today we'll have a discussion on can artificial intelligence actually help us in our music production journey. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so I'm on ChatGPT, where you can go over here and give it a prompt, and then it'll give you some results. Here are some examples if you don't know where to start. Just give you some ideas, but obviously I'll be sticking to more music related questions here. All right, first one. We'll start off with a bit of a banger here. How to make better melodies. I'm actually gonna wait for it to finish all up over here. Several different options it's gonna be giving us here. I'll read all of them out right now after this. All right, so now that's all finished, we can go over here and see what it says. There are several ways you can improve your melodies. Experiment with different scales and modes. For example, trying to use the minor scale or the Dorian mode instead of the major scale for a different sound. So here's what I mean by it's helping us, right? I'm gonna try and break down what this means right here. Using my own limited knowledge on music theory, I don't know a whole lot, just the bare minimum. So what it's saying here is not exactly groundbreaking, right? Okay, so the minor scale, I feel like most producers nowadays use the minor scale. It gives you that more like dark tone, which is very popular nowadays. Now the Dorian mode over here is something a bit different. I feel like not everyone uses scales outside of major and minor. So yeah, maybe trying out a new scale might actually help out with your melodies. I don't know. Give it a shot. That's just going to be personal preference. The next note is practice playing and singing melodies by ear. This will help you develop a good sense of pitch and timing. So my interpretation there is obviously just playing the instrument, not just clicking everything in. Once again, that is personal preference. However, I feel that if you always click something in, learning to play the keys over here or the drum pads could actually help out with your music production, just to help switch it up a little bit more. But if you feel that you're already making great melodies by clicking it in, keep doing that. Use a variety of note durations and rhythms. Longer notes and slower melodies can be more... Whoa. I'll read that over again. I kind of like this. Longer notes and slower melodies can be more expressive, while shorter notes and faster melodies can be more energetic. Yes. If you only have... Okay. Let me go to FL Studio very quickly, alright? Do a quick little demonstration here. So talking about expression here, okay? So I'm just gonna be doing this one. It's gonna be very boring. Yeah, that sounds great right there. Alright, and then we can just go ahead and do this one. Maybe go in the opposite like this, like that. Perfect, okay. There's almost no expression behind this right here. And obviously there's much more that goes into energy and expression, but this isn't really what's gonna make you feel anything, right? It's just kind of going along, and even if you make it even shorter, like this to me, sure, might have some energy if you pair it with other elements, but alone, you're not gonna get anyone really remembering this sort of melody. So now let's try taking some advice from what the prompt was telling us, and I think I heard something over here that could be expressed a bit better. I just realized that the F is out of scale. I did not mean to do that on purpose. That's on me. So yeah, the sound selection for the melody could be a bit different and a bit better in my opinion, but still sounds more expressive, and I think it's what this is really trying to come across here. I'm gonna create a melody right now. I've been really enjoying really like aggressive synths recently. It's been really cool. All right, so I'm getting distracted here. I want to finish this beat, but I'm not going to. We have to continue with this. I'm getting too distracted here. So obviously there's way more that goes into making a melody than just the duration, and both expressive melodies and energetic melodies have their place, especially when combined to have different sections of the beat or song. But if you feel like your track or melody is lacking a certain substance, you can try adding some longer notes for expression like we did, or even having those shorter notes with faster melodies to add some more energy to it so it's not as dead and boring and lifeless. They have their places, man. All right, so that was definitely a longer one here, but I felt like it needed a little bit more clarification. Moving on now to number 4 is going to be experiment with different intervals, okay? Using larger intervals such as a fifth or octave can create more tension, while smaller intervals such as thirds or sixths can be more consonants. All right, so I don't know what consonants means here in music sense, but now going back to FL Studio over here, this is a very basic chord, an E minor triad chord. Now we can switch up the voicings a bit by going up here to do that. Maybe go up an octave here, go down an octave now. Way more different, right? All the different tones you get by having different notes in different octaves. Like, that out of everything sounds the best to me. That sounds really good. Once again, using different rhythms here so we don't get too boring. I think this is it right here. I think this is actually gonna be kind of perfect. Perfect. How good that, okay, compared to what it was beforehand, before we did the octave. It sounds a bit more thin to me, right? If before we had it like this one, now we've got a lot more lower registry and keeping that mid-tone over here. Like, honestly, any of these octaves here work really well so long as they have this sort of voicing. It still works out really well. And now from here we can add a different notes, like maybe an A for some dissonance in the with the G over here. That sounds really good. Again, going up over here. Not quite. Which, just to be lazy, I can go down and make it an octave like this one for the E over there, or I can go up and make it dissonant with the A instead. Either one of those sound fine. So that is why it is important to experiment with different intervals, especially when experimenting with chords. All right, now moving on to number 5 over here. Try using non-traditional melodies instead of following a strict scale. Try using dissonant notes, which is what we did for the chords over there, or playing around with the melody to create something more unique. So we accidentally kind of talked about this one in the last one as well by going over here and making certain notes dissonant on purpose to get more of a expression. Like in those chords, the A is dissonant with the G. That's when two notes are too close together, which on its own like that is fine. Doesn't sound terrible there, but by putting up an octave, I think sounds a bit more pleasing. Even though they're right next to each other on the scale, an octave up can make it have a bit more space. I think it sounds really good. Here, the E is dissonant with the D, and the G with the A. Every chord in this progression has a dissonant note in here. And then the second part over here, playing around with the melody to create something more unique. I do this a lot with plugins that have MIDI generation, whether that be Captain Melody or Pilot plugins, which we just did a video on if you want to go check that out, or even Audio Cypher. The MIDI generation is not always 100% what I want it to be, so I use those plugins to find one good idea that I can build off of from there to create something more unique, like it's saying here. I think it's actually pretty good advice. All right, remember the most important thing is to have fun and keep experimenting. Facts. With practice, you'll develop your own style and find what works best for you. And that's sweet. Alright, so I want to make this more of a series here on this channel, not just a one-off video. I think that artificial intelligence, MIDI generation, anything like that's going to be a big part of everything creative. You know, you could let it bury you and replace you, or you could really learn how to use it to your advantage. And personally, I like the using it to my advantage part. That sounds good to me. Let me know down below what you guys think of artificial intelligence in music production and other creative walks of life. Alright, so thank you guys so very much for watching. Really do appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Also, I changed up the chord progression and sound selection here, and listen to how beautiful this sounds.